Canada. The Great White North, land of apologies, maple syrup, and an economy that's, well, it's certainly an economy. Today, we're diving headfirst into the glorious, slightly perplexing, and often bizarre world of Canadian economics. It's a story of beavers, wood, and a national obsession with real estate that makes a squirrel hoarding nuts for winter look like a casual hobbyist. Let's rewind a bit. The Canadian economy was basically born out of a fashion trend. Seriously. European aristocrats decided they absolutely needed beaver pelts for their hats. Apparently, the height of fashion was wearing a small, damp rodent on your head and calling it sophistication. So, Canada became the world's biggest fur-lined hat factory. This was Canada's first startup, and the business model was simple. Find a beaver, make a hat, get paid. The Hudson's Bay Company was like the Amazon of its day, except instead of 2-day shipping, you got a canoe trip that could last 6 months and possibly involve a bear. Now here's the thing. Beavers didn't just fuel the economy, they symbolized it. Beavers are hard-working, resourceful, and mildly obsessed with water management. Basically the spirit animal of Canadian bureaucracy. They build dams the way Canadians build public policy. Slowly, carefully, and with way too much paperwork. Even their work ethic shaped the national identity. Canada looked at the beaver and said, "We too shall build things for centuries that no one else understands but somehow still work." It's poetic. And slightly damp, this whole fur trade thing set a precedent for Canada's economic strategy for centuries. Find a natural resource, dig it up or chop it down, sell it to someone else, and then buy back the finished product at a higher price. It's the economic equivalent of selling your flour to a baker and then buying back your own bread for twice the cost. Genius, right? After the beavers got a much-deserved break, Canada moved on to its next big thing: wood. Big, beautiful trees. Canada became the lumberjack of the world, supplying wood for everything from British ships to American houses. This era was all about the hewers of wood and drawers of water, a charming colonial phrase that basically means the folks who do the heavy lifting so other countries can have nice things. Canada was basically the planet's IKEA, but without the meatballs and the confusing instructions. Then came the 20th century, and Canada discovered it was sitting on a treasure trove of, well, everything. Oil, gas, uranium, gold, copper, zinc. Canada probably has it buried somewhere under a hockey rink. This is where the Canadian economy gets its modern personality. A resource-rich nation that rides the roller coaster of global commodity prices. When the world wants their oil, they're popping champagne. When they don't, they're staring at their Tim Hortons coffee, contemplating the existential dread of a fluctuating dollar. It's a relationship as volatile as a reality TV romance. Now, let's talk about the modern Canadian economic landscape. If historic Canada was a lumberjack, modern Canada is a real estate agent who moonlights as a barista. The national sport is no longer hockey, it's bidding wars. For decades, the Canadian dream wasn't about innovation or creating the next global tech giant. It was about buying a house, watching its value explode like a firework, and then using the equity to buy another, smaller house, maybe a boat, or just a lifetime supply of poutine. Their financial system is basically built on the foundation that a 2-bedroom bungalow in Toronto will one day be worth the same as a small European nation. The Bank of Canada's job in all this is fascinating. They're like the official DJ at the economic party. Their main tool is the interest rate, which they move up and down to keep the vibe just right. When the economy's a bit sleepy, they drop the rates, making money cheap. It's like playing slow jams to get everyone onto the dance floor. But when the party gets too wild, like say, when house prices start doubling every 5 years, they have to crank up the rates to cool things down. This is the part where they turn on the bright lights and tell everyone the party's over, and suddenly your massive mortgage feels a lot heavier. It's a delicate dance, and sometimes the DJ trips over the turntables. And what about innovation? Canada has brilliant minds, world-class universities, and a knack for politeness. They've invented things like the telephone, the Canadarm, and insulin. But often, their brilliant startups get to a certain size and then get bought by a bigger American company. They're like the world's best minor league team, constantly developing amazing talent that gets called up to the majors south of the border. They celebrate the sale. Everyone gets a nice payout, and then they go back to talking about real estate. So, where does that leave us? The Canadian economy is a beautiful, confusing beast. Canada's biggest challenge isn't money, it's momentum. It's stuck between resource wealth and tech ambition, between climate goals and oil sands, between being America's chill neighbor and the world's moral support animal. But there's something quietly powerful about the Canadian model. It's not flashy, it's not reckless, it's responsibly chaotic. They've built a welfare state inside a capitalist playground, a place where billionaires say sorry. And socialism is just capitalism with mittens. The future of Canada will depend on whether it can innovate faster than its housing market explodes. It's a country with immense natural wealth, a stable banking system, and a population that's generally pretty happy. But it's also an economy that feels like it's constantly playing it safe, relying on the old tricks of selling resources and leveraging houses. It's like a hockey team that just dumps the puck into the corner instead of trying to make a truly spectacular play. It works most of the time, but you can't help but wonder if there's a more exciting way to win the game. Perhaps the future of the Canadian economy isn't about digging stuff out of the ground or building more condos. Maybe it's about finally taking all that Canadian brainpower and politeness and building something truly world-changing right at home. Or, they could just find another furry animal to make hats out of. I hear raccoons are making a comeback. Thanks for watching, everyone. It's a weird world out there, and Canada's economy is no exception. If you enjoyed this slightly unhinged analysis, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let me know in the comments what you think the next great Canadian economic boom will be. Until next time, stay curious.